Aunt Morty. Welcome to my science corner. Today we're going to be making lava lamps. You might know the lava lamps from the really popular decor from the 60s and 70s and 90s, but we're not going to be making those kinds. We're going to be making a safer kind that we can do in our kitchens using materials that we have on hand that you got in your boxes. So lava lamps were actually invented in 1963 by a British accountant named Edward Craven Walker. He got the idea because he was watching some water boiling in a container and he thought that he could create something that mimicked the same kind of motion. Lava lamps are made out of wax and water, not out of lava like from a volcano. Wax, how it works is in this glass container there's a heated lamp at the bottom and there's wax inside that's colored. The heated lamp heats up the wax, which causes it to expand and float to the top of the lamp. When it gets to the top, it's further away from the heat source, so it cools and contracts and then sinks back down to the bottom where it gets hot again and expands and goes back up. So that's how lava lamps work. We're going to be creating it a little bit of a different way. We're going to need some materials that I'm going to show you right now. You're going to need a clear plastic water bottle. You're going to need some water. I promise that's water. You're going to need some food coloring to make cooled water, like I did here. You're going to need some AlkaSeltzer. And you're going to need some vegetable oil. So fun fact, the first lava lamps were actually called astro lamps. They weren't called lava lamps until they were sold to a United States company, which later named it lava lamps. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the lid off of our bottle and we're going to very carefully, and I think I'm going to make a mess, pour some of this oil into the bottle. You only want to fill it up about halfway. Probably good enough. Next, you're going to put water into your bottle. I'm probably going to need a little bit more water. Good thing I have my water bottle right here. Should I do a different color? No, it's just going to make it mixy. When you're adding food coloring to your water, you only want to do about 4 or 5 drops. Too much food coloring is actually just a waste of food coloring. Keep going, keep going, keep going. And you want to leave about 1 inch at the top. Alright, so now we can keep the lid off for now. But as you can see, oh, and it looks so cool. Inside, you have all of these bubbles because, as you may know, oil and water don't mix. So there's a reason why oil and water don't mix. It's because oil is something called hydrophobic. So if we break down those words, hydro means water. Phobic or phobia is a fear of. So it's actually afraid of water. Oil will never mix with water because its molecules actively repel it. There's something called hydrophilic, which if we break those two words down, hydro means water, phila means love. Those substances love water and the molecules actually bond with water. So if you ever watch raindrops on a car windshield or on a window, when the raindrops roll down the window, they gravitate towards each other and make bigger drops. That's because water loves water and it will always bond together. Oil, however, will never bond, and that's what we're seeing right here as it separates. While we wait for the oil and water to separate more, because there's a lot of bubbles in there right now and we want it to be completely 2 separate liquids, I want to introduce you to some of my pets. Follow me outside. Well, one of the cool things about living in New Hampshire and having some land to live on is that we can have our own chickens as pets. And so we have 6 chickens here. They all have a name. We don't eat them. They're used for their eggs. So I just want to introduce you to them. This one is Maisie. That's Snickers. One right in the middle is Ladybug. She's trying to peck me. And you've got Nugget, and you've got Bee, and there's another one hiding somewhere. They're super cute, and they are always curious, and they want to eat stuff. They'll eat food right out of my hands. Except they peck me sometimes. Oh, the frog. Oh, please don't do it. Oh, there's the frog, look. We also have a pet frog, not actually, but we have a frog that lives in the chicken run, and it eats all the mosquitoes for us. All right, let's go back and check on our lava lamps. Now that we're back in the corner, our lava lamp has started to separate even more. It's at a point where we can start going on with the experiment. So I have an AlkaSeltzer packet right here. Each packet actually contains 2 little tablets, and I'm going to take it out so you can see it, because I don't know about you, but I wasn't super familiar with what AlkaSeltzer is. So this is what it looks like. Basically, people use it to relieve heartburn, upset stomach, indigestion, headaches, body aches, pretty much everything. When the AlkaSeltzer comes in contact with water, it actually causes a reaction and it creates some bubbles, which the bubbles is the gas that's being released, which is carbon dioxide. We're going to see that happening in our lava lamp. So what I'm going to do, should I do a full one or should I cut it in half? Full. All right, here we go. Just kidding, it doesn't fit. All right, here we go. Ooh. So it's releasing the gas, and as it does, the water is getting pushed up into the oil, and it creates the same lava lamp effect. If you're really quiet, you can also actually hear it reacting with the water. It's kind of like a fizzy, bubbly sound. So the AlkaSeltzer is just about finished. It's just about used up. When it stops, what do we think is going to happen? So when it stopped, we can see that the bubbles stopped rising to the top while it slowed down. And now the bubbles that were at the top are starting to float back down towards the water. Because oil is less dense than water, so it floats above the water. So this whole layer is oil, the green layer is water. So the really cool thing about this lava lamp is you can continue to use it no matter or for as many AlkaSeltzers that you have. So before you put another one in there, I would let it settle again. But as it settles, watch the cool drops of water go through the oil because it's super cool. There's some really big ones going down right now. To save this for later, just make sure you put the cap all the way on it really tight. And you can actually reuse this as many times as you'd like, as long as you have some AlkaSeltzer on hand. One cool thing you could do is decorate the bottle a little bit. We can also play with the oil and water mixture. So you can try a couple of things like what happens if we shake it up, what happens if we add 2 tablets, what happens if we only add half a tablet, and we can actually try that right now. So let's try only adding half a tablet, and maybe we'll keep the cap on and see what happens. Gotta get another tablet though. So when we try different things, it's called an experiment. And so we're experimenting with some variables that we have, the materials, and we want to think of a hypothesis or a guess what's going to happen. So the first time we put in a whole tablet cut in half, and it very quickly released bubbles, and then it ended pretty quickly. When we put half a tablet in, I think that it's going to maybe release bubbles a little bit slower, and because we have the cap on, maybe the gas will have nowhere to escape and it's going to build up and build some pressure. Let's try it out. Whoa, look at the waves happening. This time it's definitely creating bigger bubbles than the last time. Probably because there's more space for it to release the bubbles. This time it definitely released less bubbles, but the bubbles were larger, I think. And so the AlkaSeltzer tablet just finished. It actually just floated to the top right here. It's definitely more calm. But now what do we think is going to happen when we take the cap off? So one thing I noticed is when I was squeezing this, it's kind of harder to squeeze now because there's a lot of pressure in it. So if we open this, kind of like when we open a bottle of soda, all the pressure, the gas, CO2 that was released came out, and it actually caused some more bubbles to rise. We're gonna go extreme, a tablet and a half. Let's see what happens. Cap on and off. Whoa, what? Good idea, that's so awesome. Whoa, I'm actually gonna take this off because it's overflowing. Okay, it looks like the way to go is to put a tablet and a half in because that's dope. Some of the drops look blue. Whoa. Science with words. Bill, science guy. So that's a lava lamp. Hope you had fun creating one together with me. Keep playing with this. We should have supplied you with more than enough AlkaSeltzer tablets to try it many times. And they're also not super expensive in a store if you wanted to keep going after we used up all of the materials that we sent you. There's actually a little bit more in this package, so I'm going to put it in there and say goodbye. Until next time, thanks for joining me in my science corner.